struggling with prop firms? Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to draw zones in a completely different way, yet super effective. And we're going to be using this tool over here. This one, right? And you're going to see how powerful this is about to turn out to be, right? And if you've been struggling, if you're a beginner, of course, this might, my channel is not necessarily for absolute beginners. It's a bit more intermediate level and onwards, right? There's so many videos you can watch, to become beginners and all that. But, we're going to start off with, obviously, GBP USD. So we can see, obviously, these curves over here, right? We can see this one over here, this one over here, and so on, so on. Now, obviously, I'm marking highs, higher lows, higher lows, and obviously, price is going bullish from here onwards. Now, whenever you get confused, whenever you look at structure like this, and obviously we're going to be marking out zones as well, but this is where a lot of the confusion normally happens, because we see, and I'll be bringing myself in like I normally do. I like to go on and off the screen. It just helps with people not getting as much distracted from what I've noticed. So I just want you to focus on the charts. Now, for example, right, suppose this is the high over here. Well, at one point it was, wasn't it? At one point it was. So let's mark this one, right? We mark this one, price comes here, creates a higher low. Now the funny thing is, look at this one, and this one, right? Support established. What you can do basically with this over here is, where's the zone marker? Look at this. We mark basically, remember, zone are basically an area of a price where price, it doesn't have to be the exact price point, but it's obviously we're getting price respecting this area, right? And that's why we see a single bounce first, and then a double bounce, and then price, obviously we've got this double bottom pattern formed as well, and price is going higher from here. Now what happens from here? Price, and look at this, check this out. Even this here acts like your zone, right? To some degree. It does eventually get broken, right? This curve here, resistance, resistance, price comes up, breaks through. Now, if you took a buy from here, right? If you would have taken a buy, of course, you would have lost the trade. But there's ways to do this, right? Now, ideally, obviously, I can say the typical, well, this wasn't a strong breakout. Oops, got one of the trading view alerts going off on a position. I'm just going to have to, let me just see if it actually fits my criteria. Just one moment. I actually posted a trade as well. If I go here, this is like an AUD, pretty much 1 to 4 broker here. So obviously you can see I use magic keys for handling risk management. You can see here. So obviously you can't fake these, right? Price is moving. Also, by the way, if you are anyone interested in a one-to-one mentorship or even getting a course or whatever, probably the world's most affordable course, his price will be changing in the near future. We're up to about 12 videos, webinars getting put, passing prop firm challenges. It's all about transparency. So posting, certificates. Even if you're going down here, I mean, it's everything in here, right? It's all full in here. So if you are interested, just long story short, basically I'm just mumbling on. I just want to crack on with the video. So basically, we've got this zone over here. Now, if I can go to a small time frame. Now, you guys have to tell me, do you actually see a strong breakout here at any point over here? Right? A strong breakout. Now, what do I mean by this? It can be a continuation of bullish candles. We see a huge bullish candle, not necessarily, because it's half of a breakout, right? We've broken the high of this previous one, but price closed, and it just tanks all the way back down again. So this would just tell me, that, hey, buyers have shot up, but sellers have just tanked the market again. But at the same time, you can also see over here as well, we are in an uptrend, a mini trend, but it's still an uptrend, right? But still, again, we start coming further up, right? But what happens whenever you come up? Look at this. You want to compare the bullish candles to the bearish candles, and they're just getting weaker and weaker. Long wick rejection at the bottom, super strong bullish candle, by the way. So let's just say, and this is what you want to always do, give the market the benefit of the doubt. Mark this as a loss. It will serve you well, because the idea, when I always, you know, when I back test, right, even sometimes when I'm refining the strategy, still till this day, if there's a trade that's 50-50, I will still mark it as a loss. If it's one of those moments when I'm like, would I have actually taken that trade, would have actually lost, would have actually won, I'll still mark it as a loss. For, you know, even if whenever you collect your data, just throw 10 losses in there on purpose. I don't mean, because if you're still profitable after all that, all them mistakes, all them errors, and you're still profitable, and that means that edge is strong. That means, you know, does that make sense? So we've got this curve over here, so we lose this trade. We marked our zone here. Look at this now. Do you understand in terms of breakout? Zoom in. Look at this. These bullish candles on the way up, long wick rejections at the top. This bullish candle is a super strong bullish candle. There is no wick rejection at the top. Clear intent what buyers want to do. Again, look at this continuation pattern. Bullish candles are going bigger and bigger. Volume is coming in. So if you took a buy from here, which would obviously make more sense, again, just because, you know, let me just zoom in. Just one moment. Again, just because we've got bullish candles, now does this mean I'm just going to take a buy from here? Let me just bring this in. Let's say, so we're on GU. I like to use around 4 to 5 pips, because especially in zero spread pairs. Okay, am I going to just take a buy from here? No, that'll be silly of me, right? Wait for that little bit of a retracement. Wait for price to become weaker, right? You want when you go to if you're in the UK, Asda, Tesco, if you're from the you know, the USA, Walmart, or whatever part of the world you're from, wherever you do your shopping from, you won't buy a milk carton for £5, right? You want it to be obviously cheaper, around £1.50, £1, £2, whatever you want to call it. You wait for price to come get a little bit weaker, and then you can take your entry. Now look at the crazy thing. Look at this. This high over here can also act like a resistance, right? Just one moment. Was acting like a resistance, sorry. Price breaks through, now is acting like the support. You can take your entry off of here, because we're not just going to focus on buys now. Just after we've just seen bearish candles, it might just come all the way back down. We get another bullish candle. Now you are okay to take your trade. Again, it's how you manage your risk, right? If I zoom in, just one moment. Why do you want to zoom in? We've got this little mini double top here. But not just that, we don't want to overcomplicate things as well. We want a simple strategy, simple entry method, and simple breakout retest, you know. So super strong bullish candle over here. Take the entry of this candle over here. We got bullish engulfing, not the best, because this candle closes not above the high of this wick. So even though it's a strong bullish candle engulfing, it's not the AA plus type, right? So I'm going to zoom out just one moment. So we get I mean, this is a 1 to 3, 1 to 4 still pretty much. We call it still a 1 to 3, 1 to 4, sorry, a 1 to 3.5. Just stay on the safe side, but it's a zero spread pair, so I'm pretty much sure we're still okay. Right, so moving on now. You know, I'm just gonna put myself in the corner over here, like this. Okay, so now what do we see? Price is on its way down, right? It's on its way down. Now we create a new low. We break through this support level. Now we create a new low. Now we see all this bearish volume, right? Now what do? Do we start focusing on sells? Do we or do we still keep our bias as buys? Now in this moment like this, like these, look at this. We've got one curve over here, and it's super simple. I know, obviously these are high lows and all that, but you know, I'm just trying to keep everything simple, so I'm just calling them curves, right? Let's get the zone here. Look at this. Mark one over here. Mark one over here. Okay. Now what do we see? This level, you know, I'm going to color change the color of this, so we just to let you know where is price actually wanting to go. Sorry, when do we change our buy, so we start focusing on sells? This one here is going to be our major support level of this roof, if you want to call it. This one over here is our medium level. This one is our minor level, even though it may look like a very, very strong level. Bearing in mind, if you probably, obviously, when this one gets broken, you can take a sell probably from here to here, and then you can catch that move. But ideally, still, even though it turns out to be a winning trade, you don't want to put good money behind bad risk. You would rather let this one break and then catch all this range here until, you know, the next starts, you know, these zones start popping in, creeping in. Now, what happens in this case though? Price respects this, right? Price respects this. Not once, but twice. Price starts going further up. Now, does this mean from here you start taking buys? No, because I don't. That's not how I trade. I trade break and retest. I don't trade from support. I don't sell from resistance. Price comes up here. Just one moment. Okay. Now the crazy thing is, if you look at it, I'm going to mark this curve as well. I'll change the color of this so there's no confusion. So this red curve. Oh, just one moment. Let me just. So this red curve over here, right? Because there's a high over here. Price respects this as support. Price starts going, you know, pushing, buys are coming in. But we don't break this high over here. So it's like, okay, wait a minute. We've not broken the high. We've not broken this low. What do I do? Do you know what you do? You sit on your hands. And that's what trading is. You know, sitting on your hands. Now, if you was to, if I just mark this as a zone. Now, if you was to take a buy from when this zone got broken, right? And you can see, obviously, there's all the decision-making, consolidation, prices ranging, whatever you want to call it. There's a reason why. And I'll change the color of this one as well. Let's just color it red, so we know this, you know, consolidation. If you were taking the buy, you would have lost the trade. If you were even taking the sell from this, you know, you would have lost the trade. This is why it's super important, right? So when was actually the right time to get in? Now, remember this curve over here? Mark out this zone over here. Let me change the color of this again. Change it to a blue one because now we're stepping forward. I mark out the zone over here. We've got the curve. Mark as resistance. Price respects it. Remember what I said though? When price comes here, am I just going to take a sell? No. 1 minute. Let me just mark it like this. Price, we're waiting for the breakout. We're breakout traders, remember. Price breaks through, right? Breaks through. Now you can go to a small time frame, or depending on whichever. Remember, don't overcomplicate things. Let price come down. Obviously, don't just take your entries all the way from here. If it keeps on going, just let it go. Super simple. Let it come back down, and you can see even here, the volume starts increasing. Price. Now this is where it's crazy, right? This is the funny thing. Price comes all the way back to this zone and it creates its first bullish candle, and look how perfectly it's created in that zone. I've just marked out this zone in front of you guys. You can see already how much it's respecting my zone. My biggest edge, and obviously that's why I show you my mentorship. And by the way, I go into way more detail than this. This is nothing. In my course, in my mentorship, when I do the one-to-ones, you know, my biggest edge is zones, spawn resistance levels. And that's why my stop losses are super tight as well, right? And that's why you see me passing profit challenges in 1 or 2 trades, 1 or 2 days, whatever you want to call it, right? It's all in there. In my Discord, check it all out. But you can see the bullish candle forms there perfectly within the zone. Now you can go to a small time frame and you can break this down. You can break this down any way you like, right? You can say there's a little bit of a structure that's formed here. Price breaks through. You can say number 2, there's a bullish engulfing pattern over here. You can say number 3, there's even a long wick rejection candle over here. Change the color of it. So many ways to take the entries. So many ways, right? Let's just go off the typical one of this long wick rejection over here. Now, I personally, I use a 5 pip stop loss again. Obviously, but for this, especially if you are a beginner, you know, make your stop loss a little bit bigger. Don't get too brave too early, or you'll just burn your hands. But even if this one here, bullish engulfing, this is fine. As you can see, 5 pips works perfectly fine over here. If I drag this higher, and you can see here, 127, damn. Right? But if you know me, and if you pretty much speak to me often, you'll know I like to use basically 1 to 4, 1 to 5, sometimes 1 to 6, and super simple, and we catch a nice trade over here, right? Super simple. I'm going to use one more example. Actually, let's grab, now by the way, gold, check this out. What can you even do with the gold here? Now, if you're foolish enough to carry on trading this, right, and then you're like, why am I losing? Well, this is why you're losing. It's because you're forcing trades. Remember, if you're taking trades while the market is consolidating, you're forcing setups. Remember that. You're forcing setups, forcing wins, and all that's going to happen, you're going to burn your hands. Let's say Euro USD, for example, right? Look at this. Let's delete some of these. Okay. Now, keep it super simple. Again, get this drawing tool out. So we got one over here, right? So we add our support over here. Price, obviously, you mark the zone here. What happens when you mark the zone over here? It breaks through. Super simple, right? At one point, even this was, our support level. So it looked like price was going to continue going bullish, but what does it do? It starts going bearish. You mark out this zone. You could have taken a sell from here. Not only that, you had, look at this one, and this one, right? You take your pretty much sell from this area. Now price obviously comes here. Now this is where you're going to be patient. This is why, look at this. Price reacts. Look at this reaction here from this level. Reacts, breaks through. Ideally, this one would have been your better entry. But here, you would not have been wrong as well to enter pretty much from this level. But obviously, again, manage risk. But when you have somewhat super clear like this, you can risk a little bit bigger. So then we got our low. I mean, it's super simple, guys. Super simple. What do you think was going to happen from here? What's this? Watch this. Draw it like this. Let's put this, make it a bit wider. Okay. This could be for the future. 1 minute. Let's grab another one over here. Let's grab and put another one over here. Now remember, there was news out today as well. Just to clarify. There's actually, so obviously you can see from this one, and the more you practice, the better you're going to become, guys, right? See, that's how you see a reaction from here, right? Price comes down. Now this one might be a losing trade, but again, it's going to happen. Well, yeah, this is 130-ish. Yeah, this one needs pretty much coming, so you want to avoid this. You don't want to be a part of this. News pretty much comes, but even at this point over here, would you have an opportunity to get in? Look at this. Right, let's break this down. Let me just make it a little bit bigger. Bullish candle, a lot of volume. We're in a bullish trend. We see our zone, it gets broken. Do you remember what I said before? Bullish candle. Does that mean I take my entry straight away? No. Why? Bearish candle. But the next one's bearish as well. So I'm like, okay, I've got my breakout. I've not got my entry though. I need to wait. Still need to wait. Bearish candle. Now, okay, now it's like, oh, okay. Bullish candle. Bullish candle. What else do you see over here, guys and girls, whoever's watching? Double bottom. What does that indicate? A bullish, bullish pressure. Price breaks through. We're getting a bearish candle now. How? Look at this. What is the difference between this bearish candle and these two bearish candles after the bullish candles formed? This bearish candle is way bigger, right? So a lot of sellers. This bearish candle still is decent size, but it's smaller than this one. Sellers are becoming weaker. Look at this. Even the bullish candle, look at this. Compare this bearish candle to the previous bearish. Compare this bullish candle to the previous bullish. This bullish candle is way stronger than these two bullish candles. Why? Hardly any wick at the top. This bearish candle has a bigger wick at the bottom. This bearish candle is way weaker than the previous bearish candles, much weaker. This bullish candle is much stronger than the previous bullish candle. So there's more buying pressure and there's less selling pressure. Bullish candle again, right? Bearish candle. So this candle here covers the range of these wicks here, wick fills, whatever you want to call it. Bullish candle again. If you want to dissect this even more on a much small time frame, and there you have it. Bullish candle engulfing, long wick rejection, super strong bullish candle, let's color it green, and super strong long wick rejection, bullish candle, green. I like this green actually. Pretty much stops here. You can put it below the wick. Now I look at this, almost 5 pips, but you look at this, below the wick, below the zone, right? 2 and 1, pretty much here, 1 to 6. Super simple, super simple. And this is why when you come to the, even my students, my mentorship, you see, this is why I trade all these currency pairs, because throughout the day I'll get enough with volume, I'll get enough with, you know, trending, and then that's all. You know, I hope you found value from this. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and yeah, if you want to change your trading, you want to pass these problem challenges, link will be in the video description. Take care. I'm out.